Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I suppose that was that was something that was missed. Yeah.
Who is it?
Hello, everybody. Sorry about my absence of leave. Hello there. I'm not going to be speaking to the audience today because I've got some. I haven't got a script, but I've got some stuff, and I don't want to forget it with my 3-second memory. I've been to my doctor. I've changed my doctor. I used to be with Dr. Chetty, but I don't want to be with a Packy. So I wanted an English doctor, and I couldn't get an English doctor, so I got a Scottish doctor, Dr. McCulloch. Yeah, Dr. McCulloch. Dr. McCulloch's very good at giving out the pills. Now, because of my busy sexual life over the years, my spine is beginning to crumble. So I need some back pain relief. Anyway, I said, look, don't give me a painkiller that's gonna don't give me a painkiller that's gonna send me to sleep, because I need to stay awake at the moment. It's really important. So he's given me some kind of what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? Adrenaline pill. So if I'm talking a little bit daft today, it's just because I'm on a painkiller, which is also an upper. Now, I don't usually take pills, but this is kind of like a one-off. It's not a course or anything. It's just because I've gone private because, like I said, the NHS is full with wogs at the moment. So all I can do is have to spend my hard-earned money or my hard-earned fucking pension, whatever it is I'm using, to get myself some pain relief and to actually get an appointment at the doctor's. Yeah, because you wouldn't get your average fucking Nigerian paying out what I'm paying out to get medical treatment. Thank God. But I just feel bad because, like I said, I always think about, when I think about the country being swamped by these fucking parasites, I always think about my daughter and my grandchildren, and I can't pay for them. Do you know what I mean? I wish I could. I wish I was more like Andrew Dixon with his like letting the kids stay around his house for about six months, even though he wasn't happy about it, and he wished his daughter had been with a different man. But listen, Andrew Dixon, your daughter's with a loser. Deal with it. You know what? And you know, your granddaughters could go either way. They could be like you, or they could be like your daughter's husband. So you know, this is the shit we have to deal with in life. At least they're not black though. Or I don't think they are. Well, I hope they're not. But anyway, now listen, I've got some things to talk about today. I've been trying to ignore all this vinyl nerd stuff because I've got my own shit to deal with at the moment. You know, I'm teetotal, drug-free, clean man. But let me just turn this Aquarius off for a minute. Right, okay, let's put some background music on for you, just to so something for you to enjoy whilst.
Anybody here?
Is anybody here? Oh, what's this? All right, enough of that. Now, listen, there is a few things to talk about, very important things today. Now, unfortunately, I've been talking about Schofield recently, and I have to tell you something quite funny. I don't want to discuss this matter here because I made the mistake, because I've got a couple of other channels, you see, and they're more intellectual and they're not about fucking about like this channel is. But I put all this Philip Schofield business on this channel. Now it's got me a whole new bunch of fans who are into the Philip Schofield thing and, you know, conspiracy theories and all that. So, you know, the channel has merged. It is it's welded itself into not just a vinyl nerd channel, but also a conspiracy theory channel and a channel which is here to a lifestyle channel, you might say. So I have a few things to discuss for fans that don't know anything about vinyl nerd shit. This is more about vinyl nerd today, so we're not going to talk about Philip Schofield, but I will. There is the other person, the other Schofield, and I'm not talking about Timothy Schofield, his perverted brother. I'm talking about Simon Schofield. Now, I made an accusation about him, Simon Schofield and Philip Schofield setting up a school for young children, basically as a harem to pick young boys up. And I didn't say allegedly, but I have got through the post, not through the post, via email. So I haven't been served any papers, but it's basically a warning off Simon Schofield's legal team, basically saying, take down all the bullshit you've said about Simon Schofield and don't say anything else about him. Otherwise, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. But I say to you, Simon Schofield, listen, the shit's going to hit the fan with you. So if we want to go to court, I'll go to court about it, because you and Schofield allegedly have done something really, really bad, and it's got to come out in the wash, baby. You're not going to do a Jimmy Savile and die before it comes out. You will be busted for it, and you, Simon Schofield, will be the scapegoat, which is why I haven't heard from Philip Schofield's lawyers or legal team. And I know 2 or 3 other people have also heard from this Simon Schofield legal team. So with that, I'm not going to talk about Schofield, Holly Willoughby, Good Morning Britain, or whatever it's fucking called, because I've got other things to talk about. In fact, I think far more important things. Kenny Michaels, that's what you've all been waiting for. Now, I have to tell you, over the last couple of months, I've been getting a lot of private mail and stuff like that, and people have been saying this, people have been saying that, and all I say about Mr. Mayo is, you know, I said all I had to say about him. The man's humiliated, but he's so stupid, he won't shut up. He won't shut up. In fact, he's gone on to 5th gear now. 5th gear, and he shouldn't do, because he's been exposed being a muppet over the talcum powder. Now, the only video I've seen of this since I've been out, since I've been out of the institution, right, is this one about him going to see a Hard Day's Night video. Now, I didn't watch it all because it was boring as fuck, but I did see the beginning of it, where he's, because I thought to myself, why does he want to go and see a Hard Day's Night? Fucking hell, watch it at home or something. It's not, it's a very dated film now. It's not one you can really watch. It puts a smile on your face as pop film goes, pop star films go. It's one of the best, no doubt about it. But it is very cronky, There's a good word. And like I said, the helicopter at the end, it's supposed to be cutting edge, but it's really shit looking. Really shit. It's like, on that helicopter scene on From Russia with Love, it kind of spoils the whole film. It's naff. It's not North by Northwest. It's just, it's cheapo. It's not very good. But what I will say is that he, Mr. Smart Ass, fucking Mr. Mayo, went and did it again, didn't he? I thought, you can't stop the man from making a muppet of himself. And he went up to the bloke and, is that an original poster you got there? And I thought, that ain't a fucking original poster. Of course it's not original poster. It'd be fucking yellow. It'd be yellow. If you've got a CD of Help from, say, 1987, look at the colour of it. It's not bright, gleaming white anymore. It's got kind of musty kind of yellowy sort of creamy colour now. It's not the same, you know. It's discolorization. It's unless you fucking put it into an airtight container at the center of the earth, it's not going to stay white. I can assure you of that. It's not going to stay white. And this poster was as gleaming white as you could imagine. Oh, that's an original poster. Yeah, that's an original poster. And this bloke was obviously thinking, oh, do you think this cunt wants to buy it off of me? Or I'll just keep going about the original stuff. Mr. May, you keep falling into this bullshit all the fucking time. When will you learn, you muppet? And that's all I've got to say about him. But like I said, more important things. There's people trapped in a submarine. And don't worry, we're working our way up to Kenny Michaels.
John Lennon.
Mm-hmm. John Lennon.
Ichiban.
So, don't worry about a thing.
It's just great fun. Ichiban.
And we'll also be talking about the genius of Andrew Dixon as well. Hello, Elvis. I'm just going to have a quick look at these.
It's just great fun. Ichiban. It's just great fun. Ichiban. Well, with regards to my other channels, I don't like to share them with the general public because I do other things, and it's more intellectually based. You know, this is just a bit of silliness that I do, but I've other interests outside, and you know, we do discuss things in a very deep and intellectual way. And I wouldn't share that with the likes of you, most of you vinyl nerd types. I'll tell you that much. Present company accepted, but you know, most of them wouldn't understand it. They wouldn't understand it, you know what I mean? So what's the point? It's just great fun. But here I am. Like I said, I'm not talking about Schofield or Nicola Bully because this is also my true crime channel as well. So it's all kind of mixed up. Like I said, it's lifestyle now. It's lifestyle channel. And I will also preach to people here. Why not? Why not? But only when I want to. You see, I'm not going to turn up so frequently now because I've got to live life, and I'm not an egomaniac or a narcissist. I hope I'm not a narcissist. Possibly am, possibly a psychopath as well. But I'm hoping to contain that and to make myself a better person, and to out the people who are narcissists and psychopaths. Like they say, it takes one to know one, doesn't it? You can smell them. So, let's give you a bit of music to listen to for a minute, because I've just got to have a sip of a cup of coffee, because that's what I drink these days. Espresso, of course. Espresso. So just give me a minute. Give me a minute. Here we are with Sunride. That looks like fun, doesn't it? And please feel free to speak your mind in the comments, whoever's here. 7 people. I mean, you know, I know America's asleep at the moment, and that's where. And I was talking. By the way, I was talking to Melinda Murphy because she chose 10 essential albums, and she totally left out the Beatles. And this proves. And I wanted to say, listen, Melinda, don't be a pretentious bitch. Come on, go with what you like. Now she likes Kiss. She likes the Nelson Twins. She likes really shit music, really, but we've tried to get her to enhance her worldview on music. And I would suggest to you, Melinda, if you're going to listen to me, if you're watching me, if you're awake in the middle of a sleepless night and you're touching yourself and you're listening to Invisible Ray's sexy voice, well, what I would say to you is listen to Queen, because they're fucking much better. Kiss are just a poor man's Queen. Really, they are. Okay, let's go. Go.
Don't worry, I'll be with you soon. Just drinking my espresso. You don't want to go away yet because we're going to talk Kenny Michaels. We're going to talk Kenny Michaels. He is the gift that keeps giving. I'm just going for a wee. I'll be back.
Bye. 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 Bye.
Now have we got Kenny Loggins' theme here?
Bye.
We haven't, but don't you worry. Is there anybody left? 5 people here. 5 people. Either sleepless Americans, sleepless in Seattle Americans, or hang on, is this too noisy for you? Let's turn this down. Either sleepless Americans or Europeans out there. So it could be you, Tony Hart. Anyway, listen, what I was going to say is we can hear about the submarine, or you can hear about the the midget sub, the Titanic submarine, or you can hear about Kenny Loggins, Kenny Michaels. So I think I'm going to talk about Kenny Michaels first, because we need a bit of light entertainment in these troubled times, don't we? Now, for those of you in the audience, or my later on audience, who don't know who Kenny Michaels is, Kenny Michaels, aka Kenny Loggins,
he is, inverted commas, a Beatles expert. Now, he's been doing this for 40 odd years. In fact, he celebrated his 40th year of talking about fucking Paul McCartney. Now, he loves to lick that man's bum. He actually, you know, he does never say a bad word about the Beatles, which gives you a sort of a totally one-sided approach to Kenny Michaels. I mean, he won't say a bad word about him. He'll defend Wild Honey Pie. He will defend Itchy Bum 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 Bum. He'll defend any piece of shit that Paul McCartney has recorded out of his arsehole. And, you know, I mean, I don't even want to get into this fucking new Beatles record, by the way. But I am looking forward to what Kenny Michaels has got to say about it. Because the reason why I'm talking about Kenny Michaels is because I've had a lot of people, like I said, I had a lot of messages over the last couple of months. And you'll be surprised who's been sending me stuff. You know, and some of these people are very... highly qualified Beatles experts and very big in the world of the vinyl nerd. Very big. I'm not talking about your throwaway fuckers like Mr. Mayo and fucking whores like Beatle Babe. No, I'm talking about people who know what they're talking about. You know, and the general consensus, and I haven't been talking about him, but there's been complaints about him. Now, as I said, the title of this is called Kenny Michaels, A Comedy of Errors. Now, after all the bum licking of McCartney that Kenny Michaels has done, he's never been within 200 metres of his idol. And he won't ever get to that point. The same as Mr. Mayo, they won't ever get to meet Paul McCartney. Which isn't a tragedy, but there's more people like him out there. And I just listen. I've got to do some catching up with Kenny Michaels because, like I said, I can't watch TV and get entertained by jokes anymore because people can't say, "Oh, there was an Englishman, an Irishman, and a Negro." You know, because those jokes are banned. I can't watch TV at the moment because there's such a lefty, wokey fucking approach. I can't get a white man's perspective on the world at the moment. A white hi vinyl. I can't get a white middle-aged, slightly right-wing person's perspective on the universe at the moment. It's very difficult. There's certain channels I do watch in my spare time. And one of them's called The Fortress, and it's this gay bloke and he does about executions, and it's like he's really horrified by all the brutal and horrific execution of Marie Antoinette, and it's like ooh. Check it out, The Fortress. But no, I watch a lot of channels out there. This isn't the right wing one. It's just about somebody's obsessed with people getting their heads chopped off and stuff. And I do prefer his Henry VIII type executions rather than his Auschwitz ones, because they're not so good, are they? The Auschwitz ones, not so sexy as the Anne Boleyn's getting her head chopped off, or the Countess of fucking Wessex getting her head chopped off. Not so good. Or a man being pulled apart by wild dogs in 16th century France. No, these aren't so good. Or a man getting his head chopped off. And who was it who had his head chopped off and then turned around after his head was chopped off and looked at the... Oh, it was Charlotte Corday. Yeah, she had her head chopped off and then he lifted her head up and then the head spun around and looked at the executioner and sort of went, ugh. So, life after death. Anyway, so we still didn't mean to deviate from what I was talking about, but like I said, the reason I'm talking about Kenny Michaels is because there's been a lot of complaints about him, and we know he's a nugget. But he's like Lord Kitchener, you know, Lord Curzon, who was the Viceroy of India. he said his chief of staff of the army was Kitchener. Now Kitchener went in, and Kitchener was sort of like a carte blanche, you know. He's sort of going. He said, "I need about 50,000 troops for the northwest frontier." And then Curzon, who was a bit of John Heaton, said, "No, well, I can't give you those sort of things." And he would sort of joke around, sort of, you know, giving him excuses why he couldn't do this, couldn't do that. And then Kitchener would shut him down, and he'd say, "About the 50,000 troops, can I have them?" You know, and it'd just go on and on like this all day. You know, this is what Kenny Michael's like. He's totally oblivious to what he appears like to the general public, but he does get them very angry. Now, I don't hate Kenny Michaels because, like I said, I can't get entertainment, and I haven't had a chance to watch him recently. But every time I do watch him, I think, oh my fucking God. And, you know, it is hilariously bad entertainment. Kenny Michaels' Book of the Dead. Kenny Michaels sucking up to McCartney. Kenny Michaels has not got a bad word to say about anything the Beatles do. Oh, Ringo Starr's album, Old Wave. It's one of the masterpieces of the fucking... Well, do you know what? I was listening to Slave to Love yesterday by Brian Ferry, and I thought to myself, hang on a minute, this song's fucking brilliant. And yet, you know, there's a new Beatle track coming around, and you just think, oh, it's just fucking... It's junkyard track, isn't it? It's going to be a fucking junkyard piece of shit. And it was people getting excited. Oh, I want to complain about Beatley Tone as well. Beatley Tone, you're not an Englishman. Go and get yourself another country. We don't want you here. We don't want you here. All praise for Andrew Dixon. Andrew Dixon, we're really proud of you. We love you, Andrew Dixon. We love you. We want to lick your bum, bum, bum. But not Beatley Tone. Beatley Tone's just an Essex person, an Essex man, and we don't want you here, and you're probably married to a fucking ching-chong. So, you know, fuck off, Beatley Tone. It's like fighting with a fucking rubber ball fighting with you. It's impossible. Or punching water. That's what it's like. You're just an arsehole. Now get out of everyone's way. Go and talk to your friends in Talk More Talk. Go and be the token Englishman. Go and be the Billy J. Kramer at fucking Beatlefest. Go on. We don't want you. Goodbye. Goodbye. England says farewell. Goodbye, Beatley Tone. Now, oh yeah, so listen, Kenny Michaels, what a fucking nightmare that bloke is. The complaints I've had about him. Tell me in the comments below, because I mean this is what they all say in the StreamYard world. Put your comments below what you think of Kenny Michaels. I'll see if I've got some footage of Kenny Michaels. Don't think I have. Anyway, I want to talk to you about the submarine. There was talk about hearing banging beneath the surface. Now, I've got to tell you something. They're a long way down. If you've ever been in a submarine, you'll feel the claustrophobia and the panic that people can have in those things. Now, there's two Pakistanis on board that midget sub. Now, I think they panicked and opened the hatch up because that's the sort of thing that Asians do. They're not like white people. They can't, you know, sit it out. And because watch a film called Beneath Us the Waves. It's a very good film about a submarine trapped under the water, and very, very tragic film as well. It's got Richard Attenborough in it, John Mills. Brilliant film. Beneath Us the Waves. But listen, they're fucked. They've had it. In fact, I think they've been dead probably for 2 days. That's what I think. There's so much that can go wrong underneath. Do you realise if you was in a tin of beans, they call them tin coffins. If you was in a tin of beans, and Arnold Schwarzenegger, when he was in his 20s, grabbed hold of that tin of beans and squished it, and then squished it and squished it and squished it. That's what you'd be like when you're at that depth. The compression is more heavy than the skyscraper sitting on you. It is incredibly dangerous down there. So listen, those people I believe are dead, and I think the Pakistanis are the people who caused the disaster. So anyway, the midget submarine, it wasn't yellow, thank fuck, but it's a stupid looking thing, and it's got a blooming Game Boy control, hasn't it? I wouldn't fucking go down in it. I wouldn't have gone down in it. And you know, I was picked for Submariner service when I joined the Navy. Luckily, a junior seaman took my place, you know, because otherwise I would have been drafted into submarines, or boats as they call them. And thank fuck. I mean, the money's fucking good, but they call them the smellies because you can't wash, and they say, oh, women can go below on submarines now. And believe you me, you would need a submarine the size of Buckingham Palace to put a woman in it. I'm telling you, I'm being serious. They are incredibly compact and frightening to be in. Like I said, I don't know if you've ever been in a submarine, but you will realise that it is terrifying in one. And at that depth, fuck me, I wouldn't pay 250,000 fucking quid to go down there to see the Titanic. Not in a boat like that. I call it, you notice I call it a boat, you see. It's from my Navy days. Boats. Are you in boats? No, I'm not in boats. So, like I said, I'd be very interested, because being a narcissist, I don't, you know, I'm too busy talking and not asking questions. Part of my rehabilitation is to ask you how you're feeling today. How are you all doing? How are you, Marty McGrath? Do you like Kenny Michaels? Do you think he's a complete idiot? But like I said, he's like so bad that he's good, though, isn't he? He is so bad that he's good. And Kenny Michaels, listen, if I could, I would get Paul McCartney. I'd twist his fucking geriatric arm behind his back, break it if necessary, and say, you go and see that fucking Kenny Michaels. He's given you 42 years service of his life through COVID, through the great rock and roll swindle, and he's carried on talking about how good Press to Play is, and Old Wave, and all these shitty albums. And Unplugged is a masterpiece. It's not. Well, this is bullshit. It's just bullshit that's come out. There is no banging. I think what happened was the aircraft that went over and heard the banging was picking up banging from one of the crew members on the plane. You know, he'd probably dropped his cup of tea or something. It's bullshit. It's like I said, at first I thought this was a publicity stunt, but then I thought, well, it can't be, because it would just make people not want to go and see the Titanic even more when he's got to say, yes, come and see the Titanic. So, no, they're definitely dead. And I don't even think they'll find the submarine. I think it'll just be there and it'll never get found. Why should they spend all that money looking for it? It's like I said, they've got an area the size of Connecticut to look for. It's a fucking big area. And what a lot of people do, because you get midget subs to lay cables and things like that. So it's quite common, but usually there's two midget subs. So if one of them gets into trouble, and also there's backup generators and things like that. This fucking vessel, this coffin, didn't have any of that bullshit in there. Now, some people were saying, all the third-class passengers are getting their revenge for being treated the way they were on the Titanic. But I say to you, that's not a very nice thing to say. It doesn't matter if they're rich or they're poor, the people that are going down to see that stuff. The thing is, they died, and they died horribly. They did die horribly. Whether they run out of oxygen or whether that thing compacted like a tin of baked beans, they died horribly. And it must have been terrifying. It would have been dark. And like I said, watch the film Beneath the Waves, and you'll get some sort of idea about claustrophobia, about, you know, waiting for rescue. Is it going to happen? Can it happen before our oxygen runs out? You know, that kind of thing. It's a nasty thing, and these fucking lefty kids, they don't give a shit. You know, it's all about class war. It's not about. It's about human beings being trapped below. But like I said, I think it was the Pakis that probably caused the disaster. They panicked. You might have heard of Luke, the first Indian on the moon, but you've never heard about Luke, the first fucking Indian to see the Titanic, have you? And they paid a lot of money to die like that. I'm not making a joke about it. Anyway, let's have another song on. Let's have another song, and maybe we'll chat about. We'll have a little chat about Andrew Dixon, the greatness of Andrew Dixon. The Madhouse!
I sing the national anthem at cockfights. I sing the national anthem at cockfights. I sing the national anthem at cockfights. I sing the national anthem.
I'll roll another cigarette up, and then we'll see how we go.
I sing the national anthem.
We'll see how we go. Hello, I'm back. Now listen, we're going to talk about the greatness, the genius of Andrew Dixon. Now, if you look back at my old videos, you'll see that Andrew Dixon, I thought I sussed him out straight away. Now, he might have been an Oasis fan at first, but over the years, I have learned to appreciate, in fact, venerate the man, because look at what he's done. Look at how much he's achieved. The world listens when Andrew Dixon farts. The world listens. Now, first of all, he's not without talent. He's like I said, he's the best musician in the Beatles, and a very good musician as well. And forgetting all that, he is a Richard O'Sullivan in his prime lookalike. And forgetting all that, he's done these brilliant videos, so you can fuck off, Beatley Tone, because your pathetic trip to Liverpool. You know what I mean? I said to you, I warned you, didn't I? I said, Andrew Dixon's already done it. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Andrew Dixon's did it. And, you know, and Eddie Tudor-Pole has also done it. So forget it. You're the Englishman, well, the Essex person that nobody wants in the room anymore. Goodbye. See ya, Beatley Tone. But like I said, I've got to catch up with Kenny Michaels' videos, because I really don't want to watch Talk More Talk because it's so boring. But I've got to watch the first half an hour because it's Kenny Michaels news, and he always sort of gives us who's died, you know, Kenny Loggins' Book of the Dead and all that. And also, you know, if I could do a best of Kenny Michaels, you would be sitting there with your mouth wide open. And, you know, some of the people that got in touch with me by private message or email were describing him as Michaels, Oh, is Michael's involved, and you know his name is total mud out. But like I said, that's half the fun of it. Anyway, like I said, we've said how wonderful Andrew Dixon is. Oh, I want to tell you, I've had to have a bit of a moan to Lord John Heaton. Now, you know, when he was doing Sea Moon, and I said, for fuck's sake, you know, it's just somebody clanging a piano. And it's not Rachmaninoff, is it? It's not. So, and also he's starting to do the old Beatle albums again. And I told him, I said, don't do it, Lord John Heaton, please. It's very, very fucking boring now. You know, you've got to, if you want to talk about the Beatles, start assessing their career, you know, how you feel about them 50 years on. Not sort of going back, oh, this is a review of this album. It's like I said, all you've got to do is listen to how music has changed and how good it is and how good albums can be these days. Yeah, I'm not talking about the shit that comes out, you know, in the last 20 odd years, but classic albums really reached their height in the mid 90s, you know, brilliant stuff. I was only thinking about The Seeds of Love by Tears for Fears the other day. How brilliant that sounds on headphones. It's just fantastic. It's perfect. It's brilliant. Well, Dixon is I don't know. Dixon is, you know, I don't know how Dixon does it actually, but I think it's the sexual appeal to women of a man like Andrew Dixon. Because believe you me, they are they're very alluring to women, you know, because you get these people, and the women they're going through a phase where they don't like that kind of, you know, bodybuilding bloke, or, you know, I know that women do like to see a man working, you know, they like to see a man getting a sweat up. Once I was once I was in a nursing home, and I was helping my mate doing a bit of plumbing work. And I was underneath, like, at the old U-bend, and but it was hot in that fucking place, and there was, like, you know, there was all sweat coming off my back and everything. And one of the nurses with real big tits, she was in there, and I saw her peeping at me through the door, and I thought, yeah, you love it, don't you? You love it seeing a man sweating. But like I said, Andrew Dixon, he's got that appeal to women, you know. He's the bloke. He's a provider, you know. He's going to go out there, he's going to do a day's work, and you know, the door of the shed's fallen off. I'll go out there and fix it right now. Not one of those blokes who says, no, I'll go down the fucking DIY centre next week, maybe, when I get my gyro checked. No, he's not one of those people. He's got, I've got my toolbox now, and I'm going to go into the shed, and I'm going to put that new latch on, and I think I've got a new light bulb I can put in there too. He's one of those blokes, you know, handy to have around. But I am too. But like I say, I'm a bit of a perv, so, you know, some girls don't like that. They think, oh, I know him, he's a seedy bastard. Look out for him. Anyway, listen, I'm gonna leave it. I think there's more news to tell you, but I can't be fucked at the moment. To be honest with you, I've got things to do. I'm listening to an audio book by Ludovic Kennedy this afternoon. It's called The Airman and the Carpenter, and it's about, if you want to watch one of my other channels, we're talking about, which I'm not going to give you a link to because it's private, but hello, Mrs. Bowden, you sexy thing, you. Oh, yeah, you've got to check out fucking Kenny Michaels. And by the way, let me just tell you, he's got about 3 or 4 channels. One of them's called Things We Said Today. One of them's called The Kenny Michaels Experience. One of them's called Talk More Talk. The other one's called fucking What You're Doing. And, you know, just think of a Beatles fucking track and then look up the channel. It's there, Maxwell Silverhammer. You know what I mean? Polythene Pam. Anyway, so where was I? Because Emily Bowden, you flashed a big bright torch in my face. I was blinded by your boobies. What can I do? Oh, So anyway, if you listen, I'm about to go, but if you want to see what I've been talking about, which is mostly Kenny Michaels and the Midget Submarine, then rewind to the beginning, and hopefully I won't be banned for racial prejudice, which is also involved in this, of course. But I've got to say something, haven't I? Or Schofield. Schofield, there is no talk about Schofield at the moment on here. We were saving that for another thing. But what I was saying about was The Airman and the Carpenter by Ludovic Kennedy. Now, he also wrote 10 Rillington Place about Christie, John Reginald Christie. Now, the thing is, when the Lindbergh baby got kidnapped, they thought, oh yeah, it was called The Crime of the Century, and there's a fucking good film out there called Crime of the Century. And there's also another brilliant film called The Lindbergh Kidnapping or something like that, and it's actually on YouTube. But check it out, because although this one in 1976, The Lindbergh Kidnapping, it's got Anthony Hopkins playing Hauptmann, the supposed murderer. But it's sort of more a sort of plain telling, you know, like a TV movie. It's good though, it's very good because of Anthony Hopkins' performance. But the Crime of the Century one, which was done in 1996, which is also on YouTube, it's very good. But the bloke playing Hauptmann, he's got this sort of stupid German accent, like this and das and this and that. You can't get an Irishman to play a German. You know, it sounds a bit stupid, but it's very good. It's a moving film. It really is. I mean, it'll have you in tears at the end, because you might say Hauptmann was the killer, but there's so much evidence to say that he was framed, and it's very, very, very interesting. I want to listen to the book by Ludovic Kennedy, you know, the audio book this afternoon. So I've got a few things to do. So I'm going to be off. All right. So goodbye, everybody, and I will see you soon. And pick, 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 pick.